Hi and welcome to my channel. I've colored my first page in a Lulu Mayo book. The book isn't very big and the design looks simple. If you want to see what still gave me trouble, then stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Ina. If not, welcome back. Here I have the book A Million Little Monsters by Lulu Mayo. I received it as a gift from the lovely Selena Moonlight from Instagram. We did a body color together in Nature's Magic by Stratton Peterson. And then she kindly sent me this one, because I didn't have it and she had a duplicate. That's why we are doing a body color in this book as well, for Space Timber. Thanks again for that. It's this moon here with the stars. And I thought I'd make a video about it because it's my first page in a Lulu Mayo book. Let's see if it's as easy as I imagine. I've come up with a color palette for this, starting with turquoise, transitioning through blue to purple, pink, then moving to peach, yellow, and finally to orange red. The advantage of having colors that are blend seamlessly into each other is that I can create various color combinations, giving me more variety. I can combine turquoise with blue, blue with purple, purple with pink, and so on. This way I get more color combinations even though I'm using only a few pencils, even if it doesn't look like just a few. All the colors are from the Castle Arts Soft Touch set, except for two that are polychromos. Selena kindly sent those along with another color for me to try out. Okay, let's get started. I'm beginning with the crescent moon, and to make it look a bit more realistic, I'll start with a thin layer of gray. I'll shade the craters of the moon with a darker gray, and then use a lighter gray for the rest of the moon, before going over it with light yellows, because the moon doesn't shine as yellow as, for example, the sun. Then I continue with the monster on the right side. I'm using a Polychromos from Faber-Castell for the first time here, and I have to say it feels really good to color with it. I'm using it to shake the darkest areas of the monster, and then gradually move to lighter shades. So far it feels like it's going really well, and just like I'm used to from other books. Now I'm moving on to the large dragon on the right side. My plan is a transition from blue to purple to pink, and again I'm starting with the darkest area. With these darker colors I quickly notice that it's a bit challenging to cover the white completely. So I first apply a thinner layer to roughly place the colors, and then go over it with a second layer. But even with the second layer, despite pressing hard, I can't manage to cover the white entirely. Next, I'm coloring the outfit of the taller girl, let's call her, in blue. The little one looks like a vampire, but they still have horns, whatever kind of creatures they're supposed to be. After that, I continue with the scarf that scratches across the picture, using lighter shades of blue. At some point, I realized I had forgotten the area around the monster, so I fill that in next before moving on to the skin tones. Then I use a pink combination for the hair bows, the little girl's outfit and the socks. Here I'm coloring the collar of the other outfit in blue again. Generally, I try to color most pictures realistically, but Lulu Mayo's style is quite different from all my other books. I need to get used to it, which might be why it feels a bit chaotic when I'm coloring, and I occasionally overlook some areas. But after 2 or 3 pages, I'm sure I'll get the hang of it. This little monster that the girl is holding in her arms will be purple pink, and the other monster on the left, which somehow reminds me a bit of a mix between a bear and a monkey, will be orange. Using the color combination from the mushroom's cap, I'm also coloring the horns of both girls and this other monster. They'll be a reddish orange as well. For the mushroom stems and this little cloud on the dragon, I'm using the same colors I used for the girl's skin. Now my problem was figuring out what to do with the hair. Unlike the monster on the right, there are no lines here to indicate the hair. The pigtails aren't much of an issue, but the other hair is a bit tricky, especially considering the style of the page. Normally I would color in some hair texture, but I thought that would be too detailed compared to the rest of the page. It just wouldn't fit as well, so I decided not to give the hair any structure. Finally, I add a bit of shading to the eyes and color all the stars yellow, because I want to go over them with metallic watercolors, which aren't fully opaque. Before I focus on all the tiny dots, I color the clouds first. They will have a gradient from pink through tangerine to light yellow. Here again, I have a bit of trouble covering the white completely, just like in other areas. Then it's time for all those many little dots, which I color with a golden gel pen, just like the lines above the stars. Now that all the tiny mini stars are gold, I color the larger stars with golden metallic watercolor from this brand here. I think it's called Nassau. At the very end, the eyes get their highlight dots. And with that, the page is finished. As expected, it went relatively quickly, given the size of the book. Even though the colored pencils didn't perform that well on the paper, I'm overall quite satisfied with the page. To end the video with a helpful tip, I'll test a few other things on the title page. I'm simply using a very cheap regular red Felter pen. I draw on this plastic sheet here and then pick up the color with a damp brush to base coat a small monster. While that dries, I test the Castle Arts gold pencils compared to the soft touch ones. I'm using lavender, purple light and French rose. And I have to say, they draw noticeably better on the paper. However, even with them, I can't cover the white completely, but it's definitely better than with the soft touch pencils. Now that the red has dried, I'm using the Castle Art soft touch pencils again, but this time over the watercolor made from the Felter pens, and it works really well, even though I might not have chosen the best colors here. I would say that in the future I'll prime the page with either watercolor pencils or Felter pens. This way not only will no white spots show through, but the surface will also become a bit rougher. I think it won't matter which colored pencils I use on top of them. So, if you haven't colored any pages in a Lulu Mayo book yet, but would like to, hopefully this video has been helpful to you. It was definitely fun, and Lulu Mayo's illustrations are really beautiful and cute. If you've already colored in Lulu Mayo books, what art materials do you prefer to use? If you'd like to see how Selena's version turned out, feel free to check it out on my Instagram, where you can compare both pages, or catch it in my next completed pages video. Hopefully see you next time. Bye!